What's poppin', y'all? Welcome back to another YouTube video, and today we're taking a look at another horror movie. And I'm gonna be completely honest, I did not know Florence Pugh was such a horror movie actor. Like, she is in so many horror movies, like, that I have taken a look at on the channel over the past couple of months. And we're gonna be taking a look at another one that she's in called Midsommar. And it's alright. I saw the title and I was like, oh, is this gonna be like a horror movie like that one Shakespeare play? Nope, not at all. Completely in the wrong direction. Very weird, very psychological. There was no jump scares. It was all just really eerie and creepy. And I think the horror was done quite well in this movie. I did enjoy this one. It was a little bit of a longer one, and the pacing wasn't great for this one, but I'll get into that in just a minute, because we will be taking a look at what Google has to say about this movie without any further delay. So this movie is available on Amazon Prime. You can also watch it on YouTube and Google Play, and it has a 7.1 out of 10 on IMDb, an 83% on Rotten Tomatoes, sorry, my bad, and a 4.1 out of 5 on Amazon. Danny's psychological trauma affects her relationship with Christian, her lover. However, when they visit their friend's ancestral commune in the effort to mend things, it changes their lives forever. However, the actual story is a little bit darker than that, because how the story actually starts is with Florence's mum, dad, and sister all dying because her sister murdered them all in a murder-suicide. And then she is trying to ask for help from her boyfriend, who doesn't really want to be with her. He's only with her because he doesn't want to not have a girlfriend. And they all go on this trip, and he invites her to come along, and they all go do drugs and go and sort of witness these really weird things that their mate has been a part of, and these really weird customs where once they reach 75, they decide to kill themselves to give their bodies back to the earth and to the Lord, which I think is personally a little strange, and I am not willing to throw myself off a cliff when I do reach 75, but you know what? If they want to do it and it makes them happy, they're not hurting anybody, and it's a custom that they've had for many, many years, go for it. They all are very weird because they all do scream in pain with each other. They all resonate when they're all happy and moaning. They will all moan. It's like they're a hive mind. It's really weird, and all of the friends get picked off one by one getting bludgeoned in the head, one getting skinned alive, and one is like a flesh suit. Another one is then also used for fertilizer, and stolen in the night, and the other one is buried alive. And then the other one is used as like a sex pig to sort of have loads of other children, and then the other one is made queen and turned into a bed of flowers. And in all this, they're then put as the special people, and then they're all burnt alive. And the movie ends with Florence Pugh smiling in her bed of flowers. And it is just really weird, really eerie, very uncanny valley. And again, it is a horror movie that doesn't utilize too many stereotypical horror movie tropes. It sort of fills you in with this really weird, really sort of strange group of people that you wouldn't realistically normally see. These are very excluded people from normal society. They have their own customs, they have their own way of life, and they have their own sort of meaningful things that sort of helps them out and makes them special. And it is just rather odd. I am going to be honest, it is just rather odd, and it does make me quite uncomfortable to watch some of this, because of some of the shit that does happen. It is really creepy. The boyfriend is just a huge dick the entire movie. He genuinely just doesn't care for her and doesn't really want to take care of her. He's just like a massive cock the entire movie, and he goes ahead and cheats on her pretty much as soon as another girl shows interest in him. So again, he really does not care about her, and Florence goes through this entire movie feeling really shit about herself because her boyfriend doesn't appreciate her and doesn't actually want to be with her. So I feel quite sorry for her character, because she goes through all this trauma and all this struggle throughout this movie just to be treated so shittily by her boyfriend and her boyfriend's mates, who just want to go to this town to get new girlfriends and get laid by these Swiss ladies. Which, you know what, doesn't actually go to plan, because they all end up getting murdered in this weird cult thing. And the friend doesn't really seem to care or give a shit when they get murdered. He just sort of rolls with it. And it is weird because he's also burnt alive with them. And they do like to do a little bit of inbreeding within this community to make profits. Yeah, they like to make people who can see the future and see the prophecies, but they do them with inbreeding, so then they have a clearer mind, and I just think that's wrong, and it can lead to a lot of complications with that child's life, so it kind of just feels like they're using them, and it doesn't really sound like they're having a happy life, and they're made to watch the sex, and it is really weird, it is really creepy, and when they do have sex, like, majority of the women from the village stand there in a circle naked singing, and all get a turn at, like, touching the body of the dude, which has been chosen, which is really weird, really uncomfortable, and I don't know how he managed to do this. I don't know how he managed to stay up for this long, because that's really uncomfortable, to have loads of people watching you in the same room as you, and all sort of singing a song whilst you do it. Like, you know what, if you're doing it to music, fair enough, you do you, gives you a little bit of something to listen to, but, like, a live band whilst you're doing it is, like, another level of wrong, because it's, like, an intimate and private thing, so having that on full display for, like, your mother's grandparents, family, friends, and next-door neighbours is really strange and odd to me, and something that I just realistically cannot get behind, because it just doesn't seem right, and this movie is just all kinds of wrong. It's just all kinds of wrong. It's unsettling in a way with it's slowly having the mystery build-up of their friends disappearing, and slowly sort of having these weird things be shown. It gets weirder as it gets on, but it slowly builds up with these really uncomfortable scenes and uncomfortable scenarios that these characters get put into, and it does make you feel quite bad for some of them. Some of them do deserve it because they are dicks, but it is extremely weird, and this movie, I'm not going to say it had me locked in, because I wasn't locked in. I was sort of watching this through, like, squinting and cringing, because it was really uncomfortable to watch most of the time. It was very cringeworthy, I want to say, and I don't really know how else to put it. It just didn't feel right. There was a load of weird moments, which I don't know how else to explain. I have no other explanation. It's just really, really strange and really, really odd. So, yeah, it sure was a movie, and the scenes were pretty well detailed. Like the CGI or the, like, prosthetics that they used were really well done on, like, the dying corpses. So that was good. The pacing was also really well done as well. I think that it did take its time to get them to this area and meet all these new people, but I think that helped the movie out and was actually useful for it, because it allowed you to get to know the characters and see all of their sort of, like, shitty behavior, so then you didn't feel as bad for them when they did die. Obviously, the actions that they did do didn't, like, obviously didn't want them to die for it, like, they didn't deserve to die for it, but still, I couldn't help but feel like, oh, well, okay, well, you kind of had it coming, but you didn't deserve it, if that makes sense. And, like, a little bit of morals that were thrown into the question here, and, like, who you thought was going to be, like, the sort of better person, and who you thought, like, deserved it and who didn't. And there was people who came here just to do it for their school report, or their, like, thesis, which I do believe is something that you have to do for university. It's like a thing you have to do to get into university. Again, I'm not too sure. I never did a thesis, and I never went to uni, so I don't have a clue what this actually is. But I don't know, these guys really don't seem like that good of friends. It seems like a very shitty friend group because no one really cares for each other. They just really care for themselves and they're always looking out for themselves. So it is just kind of unfortunate and quite uncomfortable as well because the friends are just really shit to each other. So you don't really want to be in a situation with them. And yeah, that's the movie. So I don't really have much else to say. I thought it was a really good movie, like visually and also story-wise. So other than that, I hope you all did enjoy this YouTube video. I'll see you all in the next one. I hope you all have an excellent day, and goodbye. Stay home and stay safe. If you do want me to review other movies, TV shows, or animes, do let me know down in the comments below, and I'll get on it as quickly as possible. And I'll see you all in the next one. I did forget to mention my rating of this movie. I think it's a solid 7 out of 10. So go watch it if you want, and I'll see you all later.